We don't have Crumbl cookies here in the UK. You cannot buy them anywhere. So I thought today I would try and make my own at home. We're going to make 4 different flavours, which are birthday cake, golden Oreo, chocolate and red velvet. All the classics. Let's get straight into it. Because some of the dough is going to be chocolate flavoured, we're going to do this in 2 different stages. I'm going to start with the birthday cake cookies and the golden Oreo ones. In this bowl we have got icing sugar and caster sugar, and then as well we're going to add in some margarine or butter, whichever you prefer, and a little drop of vanilla extract. I will put the recipe that I use in the description of the video. We're just going to beat this with our paddle attachment on our mixer, which looks like this. You can do this by hand or with a hand mixer like this if you would like to. I just love my mixer. It does all the work for me. Call me lazy, but it's great. So you should be left with something like this, and we're going to crack in 1 egg and mix again until fully combined. We're now just going to add in our flour and baking powder so that these cookies rise, but we're using plain flour for dough and the baking powder is for a little bit of a rise. Don't know why I explained that so badly, but you get the gist. And then we're going to put this back on a slow speed, keep mixing until it should form a nice dough. It's looking good. It should look something like this. What we're going to do now is weigh it out into 2 separate balls of dough and add in our flavours basically. I've got my scales here and 2 bowls, and we're basically just going to add in bits of cookie dough at a time, and then you just keep doing that until you've used up all the dough. In this little bowl we've got 25 grams of Funfetti Sprinkles, and we're going to add these into one of the bowls of the cookie dough. We're just going to literally get a spoon and combine this through. You could even use your hand. I think I'm going to use my hand, to be fair. I hate the feeling of cookie dough going in my nails, but yeah, we're just going to keep squeezing this basically until all of the sprinkles have been fully combined and they're evenly distributed. You should be left with a nice ball of cookie dough that looks like this. Pretty easy. For this dough, I'm not going to put any Oreos in the actual cookie because they don't do that at Crumbl Cookie. They just do it on the top. Now I'm going to make the next batch of dough for the red velvet cookies and the chocolate cookies. The red velvet cookies and the chocolate cookies are going to have different amounts of cocoa powder, which I need to think through before I do it so I don't mess it up. I've got my next batch of dough. I've reduced the flour from 300 grams to 280. To compensate for that, I'm going to firstly add in 10 grams of cocoa powder, mix that through, then I'm going to split the dough up. So let's do it. Okay, so we've been left with a really light brown cookie dough. At this point, I'm just going to weigh it into 2. Into one of our bowls, I'm going to add some really concentrated red food colouring. I've had to buy this for my red velvet stuff because standard red food colouring literally doesn't make it that red colour I'm looking for. It's really annoying. Wait, actually I'm going to do that after. I've just had an epiphany. I'm going to put this one, the chocolate one, back in here, and I'm going to add another 10 grams of cocoa powder because we want it to be nice and chocolatey. I'm just going to mix this together. Okay, so now we've got a proper chocolatey dough, what it looks like. And now I'm going to put this dough back in here and start adding my food colouring into the bowl so I can use the mixer to mix it. Otherwise my hands will get covered in red food colouring, which is something we definitely don't want. And just add a bit of that food colouring. Hopefully we get a really nice dark red. I've barely had to add any of this into my cookies and they're already such a strong red colour. It's the Sugar Flare Blood Red food colouring. I got it on Amazon for like literally £3. So if you're looking for a good one, I highly recommend this to get results like that. Like, look at that. So we now have a red velvet cookie dough, a chocolate cookie dough, a Funfetti cookie dough, and a standard vanilla cookie dough. These all need to go in the fridge for half an hour to chill, just so that they don't expand too much in the oven when they're baked. Then we'll come back and bake them at 180 degrees C fan oven. That would be 200 degrees for a normal oven. Then we will start on the buttercream. I need to go over to my mum's quickly to let her dogs out. So yeah, I'll see you soon. I have just got a little cookie scoop and I'm going to scoop them up and make them the size that I want, and I'm just going to put them on the tray ready to be baked. See, with Crumbl cookies, they're quite wide and thin, so we want to make sure we actually replicate that look. Then I'm just pressing it down a little bit in my hands. I think this is going to make 8 cookies between these, so I'm going to have like 16 in total. Okay, this is what we've got. I'm going to put these in the oven and I'll report back what they look like once they're baked. So we're baking for 10 minutes, I believe. Oh, my phone's going. Sorry about that. My boyfriend just called me from work. We're trying to sort out some plans for my birthday because it is my 25th birthday in like under a week and I have no idea what I'm doing for it. Here is what the cookies are looking like. I did flatten them a little bit with a spoon because they are a bit thicker than I was hoping for. They actually really held their shape, but it's fine because they're nice and circular. They smell absolutely amazing. The buttercream is really simple. We're just going to make a basic buttercream and then customize it as necessary for each of the 4 flavors. flavors. So this is 250 grams of butter, and I'm going to put in 350 grams of icing sugar. We don't want it too super sweet. Some recipes do say you could use cream cheese buttercream if you would like. I'm just not really a fan of that. I never really have been. I don't know why. I'm going to put in 100 grams at a time of icing sugar, just so that it doesn't go absolutely everywhere like it is right now. Always on my mind, I just want my sanity back. We're just going to take a paddle attachment, put it on our mixer. I've just messed that up already. See, I'm not thinking, I'm rushing. I was hoping to cream the butter for 10 minutes, which makes it really white and bright, but we'll have to make do now. Okay, quick hack. Put a tea towel over your bowl when it's doing the icing sugar so that it doesn't go everywhere. Quick update. I've managed to get the buttercream nice and silky smooth. Sorry, I know you can't see. So I'm going to keep adding my icing sugar now in intervals. And a second update, we have got the red velvet cookies. They look amazing. That one's my favourite. They look so good. I'm so happy. The chocolate ones are in the oven. Buttercream will be done very soon. And we can start decorating. One of the best baking hacks to ever know is to add a small drop of purple food colouring into your buttercream to get it really nice and white, because it actually cancels out the yellow colouring, basically like a science, to achieve a nice white overall look. Here is the reveal of the chocolate ones. They also look so nice. I love that like crackle on the top. Very good. So this is where it's going to start to get a little bit technical. Basically, going to have to separate the buttercream into 4 different bowls. This is the buttercream, nice and thick, like ice cream. I'm just gonna go and get a piping bag and nozzle, because as we know from the classic Crumbl cookie, they sort of have this like swirl pattern on the top, the way they do the buttercream. I don't know which of these nozzles is going to be best, because I don't want it to be too big. Oh no, I think that one will be all right. A really easy way to do a piping bag is to get it, put it into a cup like that, put the piping nozzle in, and then just cut off the tip. Just sort of maneuver it to how you want it. Same process as before. We're just going to get our bowls and just keep adding bits of buttercream until they're all equal. Now for the fun part, we are going to start customizing each of the buttercreams. This one is going to be the Funfetti one, and then I'm thinking for the other two, red velvet and Oreo, to leave them as they are and then just do the toppings. So I'm just going to sprinkle in a little bit of cocoa powder and keep mixing until I have a nice chocolatey buttercream. It takes quite a bit of cocoa powder to get it like a nice dark chocolatey colour. I look like that guy who's like, I need to stir my potatoes.
I have to restart my potatoes.
I'm gonna shake while I do this. I'm gonna pipe round and round into like a spiral, basically. Here we go. The first one is looking good. And now, of course, we are gonna add on our sprinkles. The more the better, in my opinion. Next up is red velvet, so let's go again. Only thing that I wasn't 100% keen on last time was the definition of the actual swirls was a bit, Okay, you can kind of see, look at that. I've got some freeze-dried raspberries, which we're just gonna put on top. This is what we've got. Actually, it's like a proper red velvet cookie. I love it so much. Next is golden Oreo. Same as before. I am shaking like a leaf. We're literally just gonna pop one on the top. Please ignore my weird bent finger. I was bored with it. There it is. There we go. And then the final cookie is chocolate. I think I'm gonna grate some chocolate on the top just to make them look nice and professional. And we're just gonna grate. Okay, that's a really bad idea. Am I dumb? I'm gonna grate it into a bowl and then sprinkle it on the top. I think it's going everywhere but the bowl. There's enough in there to do this one. Okay, here's the reveal. Ta-da! They look absolutely incredible. Let's go through all the finished results. Firstly, we have got our Funfetti cookie. Ooh, look at that. Then we've got red velvet, golden Oreo, and chocolate. I feel like they actually look quite professional as well. Like maybe if someone saw them at a bakery, they'd be like, oh my god, are they Crumbl cookies? No, they're not. They're Soap's Goodies cookies. Now, because I've never actually had a Crumbl cookie, I can't compare it to the real flavour. But what I can do is a little taste test. We've got to try out the fruits of our labour, if that's the phrase. Really, you could let these set in the fridge for a bit if you want the buttercream to be a bit more firm, but I haven't got time for that. Cheers! Oh my god, 10 out of 10. That is absolutely amazing. That flavour combo, chef's kiss. Perfect. No notes. The edges are crispy, but the middle is nice and soft and fluffy. You can really taste that vanilla flavour throughout, and the buttercream. Oh my god, it was so light and heavenly. Big round of applause. This has been a massive success. That does complete the end of the video. I've got a lot of tidying up to do right now. I can give you a sneaky peek if you want. Thank you so much for coming along for the video. I hope you enjoyed watching me make crumble cookies for the first time ever. Let me know if you would like me to do a part 2 to this video. I could make so many more different flavours. Just let me know if you would like me to. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week for a new video.